and welcome to talkBULL. At long last, we have a Premier League champion. Was he ever in doubt? The world number one, Lukey boy, Humphreys, cool hand himself, got his hands on his first Premier League title after beating Luke Littleler 11-8 in the final. My name is Harry Durham, and with me for the final episode of talkBULL in this Premier League season is a man that I've had the honour of sharing this stage with for the last 17 weeks. We were friends, we've now become lovers, and I never, ever want to leave his side ever again for a podcast. It's Colin Lloyd, and I mean, it's all coming to an end. It's like, Cole, it feels like apocalypse now. You know when the flames are going over and it's just the doors going, "This is the end. Beautiful friend," but we're not in the Vietnam War. We're just here talking about darts. Right, before we get into the action, ladies and gentlemen, please remember to do us a massive solid. Subscribe to the channel just down below. Give us a like and keep up to date with all of the latest darty news right here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Cole, first and foremost, how are we? Is it a bittersweet day? Are you feeling sad that talkBULL Premier League 2025 is ending?
Well, listen, it's great that we've now got a champion, Harry. It's been a long, tough 17 weeks for us, so God knows what it's been like for the players. And I won't get to see you and Snooze next Thursday, will I? You know, I don't honestly know what I'm going to do. But listen, it's been great. I've loved every minute of it. And listen, our listeners out there, hopefully we'll be doing some more stuff in time to come. We'll be at the match play, Grand Prix and Grand Slams, Worlds and whatever. And long may it continue, because I've certainly enjoyed doing it. And listen, can I just say as well, Harry, happy birthday for yesterday. Happy birthday,
pal. Cole. Do you know what, ladies and gentlemen, not to sound like blowing my own trumpet, but I had the best birthday I think I've ever had in my life. Honestly. I mean, I always say I love the players to absolute bits. They're as good as gold, but obviously I've always got a bias for Luke Humphreys with us growing up in the same hometown. Oh, he said it! Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. Newbury. Great. I saw him at the O2 on Wednesday, and I was just like saying some expletives. Just, you know, we always have a hug whenever we see each other, talking about family, X, Y, and Z, Newbury. And I was just like, you're gonna do it. And he's had a tough 2025 in certain areas. Obviously, he was Winmore World Master Champion as well. He's had a lot of burnout. I mean, he went through that stage of not being able to win a night in the Premier League. But then when it all mattered, Cole, he did it. And I mean, Cole, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't attractive last night, in my opinion. A lot of the play. I know he had some good averages. I thought the checking out was absolutely toilet from a lot of the players. But, you know, Luke Humphreys, first Premier League title, and hopefully more to follow in the future.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Harry. It was last night, I think, in a couple of matches, it was a case of, I think, missed opportunities. I think Gezi Price said there was a bit of chat there where he could have possibly been 7-3 up at the first break. But he wasn't. He was only 6-4 up, and then he come out and he was a little bit as flat as a pancake. You know, there was an opportunity there for him, and Luke Littler kept giving him opportunities. And bearing in mind, Harry, Luke Littler was still averaging around the 103 mark. Gezi was around 96, 97. And you thought to yourself, do you know what? I think Gezi's going to get over the line here. But fair play to Luke Littler. He come out, and especially the last sort of like few legs, Harry, he stuck in like 4 180s in the last 3 winning legs. And you've got to be going some to get near that. Humphreys against Aspinall, that was a cracking game. But then, you know, Luke put the boot down at the final few legs, and that got him through. And in the final, Harry, you know, I'm running through everything a little bit, Harry. We'll talk about it in a bit more detail. I think at 5-5 the two Lukes had hit 4 180s. 4 180s. Let that sink in. The amount of 180s they hit, at 4-all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In the next 9 legs, there were 11 180s. there were 11 180s, and after that breakout, it was edgy, wasn't it? It's the world number one against the world number two, the world champ against last year's world champ, and it was edgy. It weren't edgy after that first breakout. They just went absolutely baloobas. And listen, a great champion in Luke Humphreys. Luke Littleler, I think, he'll wake up disappointed this morning of could-ofs and what-ifs. But, you know, he had a great campaign. He set so many records in these last 17 weeks. He can wake up very, very proud of his performance over the last 17 weeks.
I don't think it was until like leg 5 against Gezi until he hit a max. But, I mean, he still made it to the final. I mean, he broke records again last night. The record-breaking 180s from Luke Littleler, 169 across the 17 weeks. The most ever hit by an individual in a single Premier League season. Yeah. I mean, it just makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, I think I was having conversations with someone in the week, and they were like, I'm not sure if that stat is actually, I'm just reading that now, and it says in the
I think it was 169, Harry, going into last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is really bizarre because this is uploaded sort of like a couple of hours ago. So someone's just made me read out a wrong stat. I think because someone said to me in the week that Luke Littleler could get 180 180s in the Premier League season. So it's one of those situations where records have been broken anyway. But at the same time, you mentioned about that break between Humphreys and Littleler, and if people notice, I noticed it, and I was like X amount of yards away from him in the arena. They were booting off about something. I couldn't tell from my vantage point if it was whistling, and then it all sort of made sense in the sense of that the checkout rates were so poor that there was a lot of whispers going around about a breeze last night, but I think the O2's massive, Cole. But how is that not being combated? Who's leaving a back door open? Who's going out for a ciggy and, you know, not shutting the door or drawing the curtain? This is a bloody final.
The thing about it is, Harry, like you just now said, mate, it's a big, vast building. And the wind, it whistles down and it gets through any nook and cranny. And if it was creating a draft, it could have been Harry coming from another room right down the corridor that no one knows about. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Listen, it ain't good. It's really not good. But it is what it is, you know. Unless people know about those things, they're not going to be able to combat it, you know. And just going back to it, Harry, by my calculation, after last night, Luke Littleler amassed 184 maximums during this 17-week campaign. That's the stat according to Colin Lloyd.
Well, I'm going to believe you over some darting accounts, which I just read stats from all the time. Cole, just, confidence-wise for Luke Humphreys as well, going into, the other majors throughout this year. We'll have the match play coming up, even though it's not ranked and it's not a major, the World Cup with Littleler as well. Just how much confidence is Luke Humphreys going to have going into the summer now?
Well, I think his confidence should be sky high. I think a lot of people were saying, Harry, this was Luke Littler's to lose. It was, he's played absolutely sublime this whole campaign. And I think a lot of people just thought all Luke had to do was turn up and he was going to win it. He looked just a little bit off last night, Luke Littler. I hope everything's all right with him. He just didn't look... He didn't look quite the same. But listen, people are waking up this morning, as we have, to a first-time champ of the Premier League, which is Luke Humphreys. You know, like I said, they both looked nervy in the final. 5-5 came out, and it just exploded into life. And I think Wayne Mardle said something about you can't just walk to the line. You've got to sort of like start applying a bit of pressure. And once he got 10-8 up, I know he's only one leg away, but you know with the sheer brilliance of Luke Littler that he could have exploded into life and reeled off an 11-12 and 11 dart leg. And he could have been crowned champion. But listen, Luke Humphries kept his nerve. It's a nice positive now, Harry. It's a nice positive. You know, he's going to be going into the. I know that they've got a World Series event and whatever at the end of June. But he'll be going in now, and which he should be going in with a very positive thinking now with Luke Littler to try and retain his World Cup win from last year with Michael Smith and possibly Luke Littler's first win at a World Cup. So, and then after that, Harry, you're looking at something like the match play, which is, in my eyes, still the second biggest TV event, ranking event that is, after the World Championships. And so his confidence should be absolutely sky high. You know, at the start of this campaign, Harry, we wondered, didn't we, a couple of times with Luke Humphries, that is. You know, he looked so negative and so off his game, didn't he, at some points during this campaign? But, you know, he can forget about that now because he's bagged for his campaign 305,000 quid plus a 30 grand set of solid gold darts, and he is the BetMGM Premier League darts champion. And he will wake up this morning, I hope he wakes up this morning, with the biggest smile on his face ever.
You know, something that I just taken from that's the first time that you've ever, in the history of this talkBULL, been able to say BetMGM. Because you always go either MG Bet or, MGM Bet or MG Bet. So, Cole, congratulations to you on that. I'm very proud of you because that was clear.
Harry, listen. Don't get negative towards me, mate, because it's the last show. All right, there's no need for that sort of negativity talk. Right?
No, I'm praising you. I'm praising you. And
I don't even realise I've done it. I've got it right. That'll do. Yeah.
See, I mean, we saw Nathan last night in a bar, and obviously he was in such high spirits. I had a little conversation with him. It's like, listen, everyone doubted you. Congratulations. I mean, this is just the beginning for 2025, mate. Like, keep your chin up. Don't listen to the haters, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you mentioned about the money there. And it's like, Nathan's bus, he's got 75 grand for being a semi-finalist. It's not too bad, is it? Getting £75,000 just for like 3 or 4 months. Carl, I've got a quick question for you.
Yeah, go on.
So Luke Humphries now enters an exclusive group of 4 players in history to win the triple crown of the Worlds, the Match Play, and the Premier League. So it's almost like a bit of a Mount Rushmore sort of situation. Can you name the other 3 players that are also in that list? So a group of 4 players in history.
The Premier League?
The triple crown of the Worlds, the Match Play, and the Premier League.
Well, Taylor, obviously.
No, yeah, of course.
Gary Anderson.
On the money, bang on.
God, I can't think about this. This is just madness. MVG, obviously.
Yes. I was getting worried about you then, Cole. And Luke Humphries slots in there. No, Barney's not done it. I said 4, 1 including Luke Humphries.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Barney never won the match play. Sorry, Barney won the Worlds and the Prem. Yeah, so that's Barney. The 4, isn't it? Taylor Anderson, MVG, and Luke Humphries. Listen, what a great group to be amongst. Fair play to him.
Absolutely fair play to him as well. And I mean, I don't think that he's going to be on the Euro Tour this weekend, but I think Nathan Aspinall's flying out to Germany as well. Gezzy's out for a nice little holiday in Florida. Kick your feet up, my friend. Kick your feet up. You've deserved it. Cole, I just want to, with it coming to an end, I think it's good that we do a sort of selection on your best ofs, the best bits of the Premier League as we wave goodbye until the start of 2026. We've got a load of different questions. I'm going to say to you, Cole, throughout these 17 weeks, what has been, and it's hard to nail down, what has been your favourite checkout?
My favourite checkout, or my favourite night of checkouts for me, Harry, was, funny enough, all the way back in Glasgow when we got treated. I think Wayne Mardle said it last night, you can't leave him a shot at this because he loves it. We got treated in Glasgow to Luke Littleler hitting not one, but two big fish finishes. Yes. And that was all the way back in Glasgow. He had 3 throughout the whole campaign. He had another one in Sheffield. But I think my checkouts is, listen, Harry, you can't beat a big fish, can you? You can't beat. There's been some great crucial finishes, but the big fish, and to reel it in twice in one night in Glasgow, it just sent the place absolutely ballooners, didn't it?
I think if I had to say my favourite one, just because he did not deserve it at all, because he started so strong in Cardiff, then Gezi turned up for a little bit, and then they put the pressure on Crossy. Crossy just taking out that big fish when he was just getting smashed off the board, and it was literally just in front of Gezi's home crowd, just being like, sorry guys, I think he was a wanted man for at least about 24 hours after that. But yeah, we've been treated, haven't we? Because that same night as well, I mean, Littleler hit the 9-darter, was it treble 17, double 15 finish, which leads me on to this one as well, Cole. Your favourite 9-darter of the 17 weeks, please.
I think for me was Gezi Price. Gezi Price against Bunting in Aberdeen. And do you know why, Harry? I'm going to tell you why. It come out of nowhere. He wasn't playing very well. I think me and you messaged each other straight off after that, Harry, saying, where did that come from? You know, he was having a bit of a nightmare. He wasn't playing that great. Nothing was really happening. And all of a sudden, 180, 57, 60, double 12. And I just sort of like, I actually burst out laughing when he hit it. I thought, where's that come from? You've been playing absolute garbage. And he ended up losing the match anyway. So, yeah, I think that was one of my favourites. But Harry, listen, whenever you get a perfect game, mate, whenever you get a perfect game, hats off. I doff my cap to all of them, because when you get a 9-darter in those situations, when you're in front of big crowds like that, fair play to each and every one of them. You know, there's a nice little bonus at the end of it as well. And it was interesting to see that the first lot of them, Humphries hit one, he lost the match. Cross hit one later on that night, in Brighton this was, against Nathan Aspinall, he lost. Price hit one against Littler in Manchester, lost. Price hit one against Bunting in Aberdeen, lost. So maybe next year, fellas, maybe just throw it in the Big 12 and end up with a double 6, and you might end up winning the night. But listen, 9-darters, Harry, they're great. But for me, that one that sort of like stood out to me was Luke Humphreys' one was great because it was the first one of the campaign, which was absolutely fantastic. But Gezi Price won against Bunting because it just came out of nowhere. It was out of the blue.
We were lucky to see Rob Cross's and Luke Humphreys' 9-darters as well. If people can cast their minds back to a few months ago when the TVs were buffering and we almost missed both of their first televised 9-darters. Cole, I think this might be a bit of a hard one because I don't think I can't actually think of something for this one, and you might have to help me out. Favourite crowd interaction?
Well, do you know the only thing that I think they've had a little bit of interaction with the crowd, not loads and loads. I think the one that only stood out to me where there was some interaction with the crowd was Luke Littler. We spoke about it when he went back to the crowd. He hit something. I think it was in Berlin, wasn't it? I think it was Berlin.
I think it was in Leeds. I think it was in Leeds because
and he went like that.
Wanted Nathan Aspinall to win.
Yeah, but that you can have some interaction with the crowd, but at the end of the day, first and foremost, you're there to do a job. I think the main interaction with the crowd, where the players are concerned, yes, they give it come on and large it and whatever. I think the times when there's interaction is obviously the walk-ons, and sort of like all the players have a little bit of a sing-song with the crowd, and the crowd then interact with it, and they think, oh yeah, this is great, right, let's see some darts. But other than that, I think it is a bit of a toughie, the crowd interaction.
Cole, favourite walk-on of the whole 17 weeks?
I think week in, week out, do you know what I think really gets the crowd fired up? Is Nathan Aspinall. Because he always stands there, and he gets on the stage and he's always standing there, arms in the air, and he's getting everyone singing. And they seem to play his song, his walk-on song, a little bit longer than everybody else's because everybody sings along to it. Mr. Brightside or whatever, and sort of like, and it sums Nathan up as well, doesn't it? Really, I'm here to entertain. I'm going to fight tooth and nail. I am Mr. Brightside, and I am going to fight tooth and nail, and you're going to love it. And so for me, it's Nathan Aspinall's every week, because it just seems to get the crowd going, Harry. It gives them a bit of a buzz and gets them on the edge of their seat, ready for the night ahead.
I love that he hates Mr. Brightside as well. He absolutely hates the song, but it just gets people up for it. Your favourite night, Cole, across the 17 weeks?
Do you know what? I don't think I actually had a favourite night, Harry. I think they were all cracking nights. The most hated night I hated was obviously Brighton, where everything just kept cutting out and cutting out and cutting out, cutting back in, cutting out. But listen, I think each and every one of them, Harry. I think they've all been great. Sellout crowds, Harry. Yet again, I'm not going to pick any sort of venue. I mean, Berlin was great. Berlin, the Germans always get noisy. They love their darts, absolutely love it. Rotterdam was a bit tame this year, I thought.
Yeah, Rotterdam was obviously
buzzing.
Synonymous with the breeze, isn't it? It's always the breeze.
Yeah. But for me, I suppose if I had to pick one, I'm not going to actually pick one, Harry. Sorry, I can't, because I just think everybody goes there and they enjoy themselves. They love their night. They want to be royally entertained, and I think they've been royally entertained week in, week out. So I'm not going to pick one specific venue. They've all been great.
Hey, Cole, darts is the real winner, isn't it? After just
That's so
darts
corny.
is the winner. I love Exeter's. I love Exeter's because it's literally like a secondary school sort of like sports hall, like a gymnasium sort of situation.
Yeah.
It's that good.
Yeah. And it's always cold there as well. It's always cold or wet.
Yeah. Your favourite player of the 17 weeks? Are we going to cop out and just say Luke Humphreys because he won the whole thing, but you had Luke Littleler finishing top of the table?
I think, listen, I don't think you can look past those two. It was a battle throughout the whole year. With what they've done. Listen, I think all of the players. I know Bunty and Dobes finished at the bottom and whatever, and they possibly didn't do as well as what they wanted to. They feel they didn't do as well as they wanted to. But you know what? They got up there and they competed. For the negativity of Nathan Aspinall and Gezi Price getting a pick, they got to the semi-finals. I think the picks were justified. Yes, there were people that lost out. Harry, the darting fans out there, they've got their favourites as to who they wanted in. It was what it was. But yeah, me personally, for what he achieved, a record-breaking season of Premier League, Luke Littler has to very much so get a mention. What he's achieved throughout these 17 weeks has been absolutely fantastic. And also Luke Littler for sticking in there, having some very negative nights where the body language didn't look good and the shaking of the head and whatever. But he always had his eye, Harry. He always had his eye on the O2. As soon as he knew he was there, it didn't matter what you'd done the rest of the weeks. It was all about what you'd done at the O2. And last night he was crowned the champ. So yeah, special mention for those two, I think. But everybody else, that they all put in some good solid performances. MVG will be disappointed he didn't win a light. Robbie Cross will be disappointed that he didn't win a light. But That's just the way it goes. That's the loves and loathes of being a professional dart player or being an individual sports person. You know, you don't always get what you want.
You can't always get what you want. Your favourite mess up? I think I've got mine like quite early on, but I'll let you speak first because I want to know where ours differ.
Well, I've got a couple really. The couple I feel that in Liverpool, Luke Littler was 4-2 up on MVG and managed to lose that game 6-5. Again, it's a game of darts. The game's not over until you get to 6. Rob Cross was 5-2 up on Luke Littler and ended up losing 6. He was 6-2. Could have won 6-2 and could have won 6-4 and ended up losing 6-5. But also another little mess up thing for me was when Luke Humphreys went 60 tops when he wanted 120.
Yeah.
And he was very fortunate enough he laughed about it and fair play to him, but he got let off by Luke Littler and he stepped straight back up and went treble 20 tops for the 120 that he actually needed. I think they're the sort of mess ups that you wanted, and so yeah, they're my sort of three. And the one for me, Harry, that Rob Cross one against Littler, that could have possibly changed a couple of things. That could have changed the mindset, an extra couple of points, that little bit of confidence. Could he have pushed through and actually won the evening? Who knows? You know, who knows? But listen, it's not to dwell on now. The campaign is over, and those guys will be battling to try and get into next year's Premier League.
I think there was one very early on. I think it was Dublin, night 3, when it was Crossy versus Nathan. And do you remember the first leg of that game when Crossy absolutely stormed ahead? In the first leg, I think.
Did he have a dart for a 10 darter or something?
I think
he sat on double 18 after 10, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was. And he couldn't check out. And Nath was on about 260 or something stupid. It was just turning into an absolute mess on the outer ring, and Crossy couldn't check out a double 2. And I think did Asp hit a big fish to win that first leg? I can't remember off the top of my head. But Asp was so far behind him, and it was just a complete and utter mess by Crossy. He should have cleaned it up. But I think Asp went 180, and then it wasn't a ton plus checkout, I don't think. But then Crossy, it was like one of those situations where you have completely dominated this guy in this opening leg, and you just walk away from it and go like, how the hell didn't I win that? But I think there might have been a case with Gezi Price last night as well, because I think it was around about fifth leg against Littler. I think he decided to lay up. He decided to lay up on something. It was almost like the old Bristow and Della situation. And I mean, you can't be thinking Luke Littler's not going to take it out. But I can't remember what Gezi
that was in the fourth leg because.
Yeah.
Was it in the fourth leg? No.
I thought it was fourth or fifth leg. I can't remember. But he didn't lay it. He decided to just like set the shot up for I think for a tops.
Oh, that was it. He was on tops. Littler took out a 128, 54-54 double 10. Yeah. Yeah,
you've got to obviously find your easier route, but there's just one person you can't think that they're not going to take it out, and that's someone like Luke Littler as well. Cole, who, if we're looking at it right now, of course we've got, I mean, the Premier League for 2026 won't be announced until after the World's finishes in January, but from what you're seeing so far, what other additions would you like to see players-wise next year who are currently on form, will put bums on seats, and will give it a good go in the Premier League?
I'll tell you what, Harry. See, the thing is, you can make all sorts of assumptions now. There's just too far to look ahead. It's just too far to look ahead. You're looking at sort of like it's 10 months away now, or 9 months away. A lot can happen at that time. Obviously, you're going to have Humphreys and Littler, obviously. On current form, I suppose, the way they've been playing and what they've been achieving, Ross Smith, Johnny Clayton, been doing some good stuff. If he fires back up a little bit again, he's been doing some good stuff as well. Gary Anderson, if he chooses to play.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to play in the Premier League anymore.
No, well, that's another thing. You see, this is the thing as well, Harry. You've got to remember, you've got to think of players that might actually just turn it down and say, no, I don't want to do it. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Has there been anyone else that's been that outstanding, Harry, on the Pro Tour events, on the Euro Tour events, to at this moment, right here, right now, be justified, or us, not to be justified, but for us to potentially say, yeah, they might deserve a shot if they keep that form going. Have you got anyone in mind?
The Smudger, because I think he's been brilliant on the floor this year. Brilliant getting to the latter rounds of getting onto the Euro Tour. He's gone into the latter rounds, quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And a German man named Martin Schindler, who I think, if he stays consistent, I would love to see Martin Schindler walk out. I think he's from Berlin. I think he's actually from Berlin, Martin Schindler. I would love to see him walk out in front of his home crowd.
But
it's just
he'd have to do an awful lot, Harry. He'd have to do an awful lot.
He would have to do an awful lot.
Because he must have been on someone's lips talking about him when they were doing some wildcard picks. Because he had a really good year last year. He had a really good year. So he'd have to do something really. I think he'd have to do something really special in the majors if he was to get looked at. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good shout, because I think when he's on, he's a really good player, and he knows how to get over the winning line.
Well, maybe it could be a situation of extending it to more players like it used to be, so you can get more people coming in, adding a potential promotion and relegation. Because you got to imagine it's, the PDC will probably be back in the office today. Don't know when these conversations will happen, but they'll go into a boardroom, Matt Porter, and they'll look across the whole 17 weeks, as we know, and they'll say what worked, what didn't, what the players saying, what the people saying. Because when I spoke to all of them on Wednesday, I said, what would you like to change for next year? And every single one of them said they wanted to play in the old format. So,
one game a night?
One game a night, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I said that weeks ago, Harry. I said that weeks ago about that. Because
after 10 weeks, people go out.
Yeah, it is very taxing on the body. It is very draining on the body. It's draining physically and mentally, because let's put things into perspective, Harry. The Premier League is a show. It's a showpiece. It's not ranked. It's a showpiece. It's a fantastic showpiece, don't get me wrong. But then these guys have also got to think of their ranking. And when you've got to go from somewhere, you've got to get from somewhere, say, like, I'm just picking this for arguments and, for the sake of it. You've got to make your way from, say, Aberdeen to Niederhausen. Now, that could be possibly 2 flights and a train ride and then a taxi. Do you really need that on a Friday, and you're expected to play either Friday night or Saturday afternoon after you've just had a campaign in Aberdeen? I think if you're only playing one game, you can put your all into it, and they can make it. Harry, listen, I'm going to go back when I competed in it. Yes, I know it's 20 years ago. The first ever Premier League was 20 years ago this year. You could have a bit of a longer format. Or you could have where you could say first to 7. At one time, Harry, there was a time where it was 14 legs, and you had to play all the legs. So you could get 7-all draw, 6-all draw, or whatever. I think they've reduced the legs. Or you could win like if you got to 8 and you say 8-1 up, then you just stopped because you've already got the win, and they stopped it at that point. But listen, like you say, the PDC can have a nice little chat about it. They'll discuss it. I really feel that they should have this discussion with the PDPA. The PDPA should be getting involved and chatting with the players, or the PDC go direct to the players, certain players anyway, that you know full well are going to be in it again, which would be Luke Humphries and Luke Littleler. Get their valued opinion. And do you know what, Harry? Ask the fans. Ask the fans what they want. You know, I can't reiterate enough that you have to think of the fans, because they're the bread and butter people. They're the ones that put their bums on seats. But listen, I'm not saying that the PDC don't take all of that into consideration, because they do. But going back to the old format, Harry, I think that works for me. I'll be quite happy to see that. I don't know how you feel on it.
I feel strongly about it, Cole. What makes me sad right now, because I've been listening to what you're saying, and I knew that this point was coming. And now the end is near, and so I face
the final curtain.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to end this chapter. We're not closing the book. The book is open. But this chapter, Premier League 2025, 17 weeks, me and Colin Lloyd, is over. We will still be friends. We will still do interviews for certain darts-related topics. He is not going away. You will see him more on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Cole, I want to thank you for all of your 17 weeks. It's been sensational, the insight that you've given, the love that you're getting from our listeners, our viewers as well. Giving up your time as well, Cole, every Friday morning for 17 weeks. You could be doing absolutely anything that you wanted to, and you've decided, you've dedicated your time to myself and Sue's the producer, and I just want to say a massive, massive thank you for that, because
listen, mate,
it's
been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure, because you've now both become very good friends of mine, and listen, I've just enjoyed doing it. I've enjoyed your company for the last 17 weeks doing these. Hopefully, like I said at the start, it won't be the end. This is just the beginning of bigger things to come, because darts is growing still. It's still growing. You love the game, Harry, and you love reporting on the game, and it's been a pleasure to work with you. Susie's been great. People don't get to see Suze. Snooze, as I call her. Snooze is the producer of the show. She'll do the cutting and editing and whatever, and she loves the game of darts.
Should we ask her to come off? Should we ask her to take her camera off mute quickly, and she can say hello to everyone? Suze, take the camera off mute.
This is the last one. Come on, Snooze.
This is the last one.
Hello.
Hey everyone, this is Snooze. This is Susie, our producer. Susie, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me week in, week out. It's been brilliant. It's been a blast.
It's been a pleasure to have you, Colin. You've been amazing. And Harry's also been there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been amazing. Right, Cole, for the last time in this Premier League chapter, send your message to the people and make it the best one you've ever done.
Listen, folks, it's been a fantastic 17 weeks. An unbelievable 17 weeks. But don't forget to click on the link below, like and subscribe, and keep listening and keep tuning in, because even if I'm not about, Harry Durham will still be getting scoops. He'll still be getting scoops. He'll still be putting stuff on the talkSPORT, talkBULL website. And so just tune in, because there will be some unbelievable stuff.
You've never looked at the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, have you? I mean, you're too big for it. The website? We ain't got a dedicated website yet, Cole. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, exactly what the big man said there. We have got loads of content coming out. A special video will be dropping on Monday that you need to keep your eyes open for, because it is huge. It's explosive, and we've been working very hard on something that we've got coming your way on Monday. I mean, I guess now it's for me to reiterate what Colin just said. Please make sure you like and subscribe just down below to the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. We'll have all of the latest darting news, in-depth looks at the tournaments throughout the year, and blockbuster interviews. Like I said, the one coming out on Monday is a blockbuster. The biggest names in darts will be right here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. It's not the end, but we'll see you very, very, very soon.